There we are. Excellent. Hello and welcome. I'm Zilla.
I'm Tortoise.
And this is my stream, Ancient Gaming, where I play video games with ancient studies content and talk about it. In addition, you can find all of my previous playthroughs, all episodes of this game, at my YouTube channel, Zilla's Athenaeum, and you can follow me on my socials below. If you're here, feel free to say hi in chat. Love to see you. We are playing Chants of Sennaar, a video game about learning different languages and bringing together disparate peoples all living in what appears to be the Tower of Babel, although it's never put in those terms. If you do not wish to be spoilered, at this point we are close to the end of the game, at least I sure hope so. And you can go check out all of my previous episodes on my YouTube channel at your leisure. If you don't mind being spoilered, but you haven't seen the previous episodes, I'm about to give you a short recap, and then we'll dive in. So, we woke up, we are this fellow here. We woke up in a weird little sarcophagus at the bottom of this tower, knowing no languages and just kind of solving environmental puzzles to try and get through the world. And we found a group of priests, they call themselves devotees, who worship a god at the top of the tower. And they are trying to get upwards. We learned their language through trial and error and many puzzles, and eventually learned of a secret way to get past the warriors guarding the entrance to the next level, where the warriors live. The warriors speak a different glyphic language, which we then had to sneak around and learn. They believe that they are guarding the chosen, who live above them, from the impure, who live below them. They seem to worship duty and be beloved of music. Sneaking through the guards section, there was an elevator up to the next floor where the bards live. So these are people who love beauty and art and leisure. And so they have created a slave class. We found a way to assist those slaves to freedom by sending them to the abbey below. And also fostered relationships between the warriors and the bards, and the devotees, eventually. Bards had their own language. Each layer is a culture with its own language and its own rules. Once we got past the bards, there was a scary monster that we had to avoid. And then we came to the alchemists. The alchemists were trying to find a way to open the door to the realm of the fairies. So a way to transmute elements into the key. We were able to figure out the key, foster relations between the alchemists and other levels, and get into the realm of the anchorites, a high-tech culture, is what I meant to say there, who go about in little hover chairs, and each of them is kind of in a permanent VR, not really interacting with the outside world, and isolated from the other cultures. But their leader had apparently created us, because the tower is dying with each of its layers in isolation from the others. So we have gone about dismantling the AI that tricked them into this exile. We got all the way to the top of the tower, hit the button, and woke up at the bottom of the tower. So I don't know what's happening now. We're currently in the warriors' realm, but I don't know exactly what I need to do. Things have gotten a little creepier, as you can hear in the music and see in the beady eyes staring up from below, which I don't believe were there before. So on that note, let's get going. I don't remember what we were doing in here, so...
So there was a keypad.
Oh, and this child has been helping us. They were from the Abbey, too.
So we have these 4 signs saying exile, and we have the keypad at the door.
Right.
And it gave us a little picture of something from the mural that was above us.
Okay.
I don't quite remember what that particular picture was, although we...
I think that's the warriors seeing the tower,
Okay.
but I don't know for sure. So, I guess let's try that. Warriors see. Let's see.
I don't have C in here. Could be find, because I think...
Find is good.
I also didn't write that down. I guess I have some missing in this one.
Well, that's seek. That's help. Lay, have, protect, push, love.
Is it warrior build fortress? Like, do we have a make?
Build fortress, you think?
Yeah, because there was the bit where they are building the fortress on their level.
Could be. Although, now that I'm looking closer, I think I see the impure images. So maybe it's not. Oops. Well, I didn't mean to do that. Warriors.
Repel impure?
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so let's go through and calculate what verbs. We've got wait.
Well, repel is, I think, that anchor-looking thing in the second column.
That?
No, second column.
Oh. Push?
Yeah, push also means repel.
Okay. Nope. That's not
Yeah.
it.
So I think we should go back to the mural just to be sure of what that's referring to.
Okay. So that must have been what we were doing out here. Oh.
So...
The impure make music.
Oh, because we've now learned... Maybe that was already always there, but...
I don't think so.
Yeah, it might have been something else about the impure, and now they've learned that the
Yeah, I think it used to
devotees-
be that they were repelling the impure. Now the impure are making music.
Or possibly it was the chosen are making music.
No, that's not how they represent the chosen.
Well, I'm saying that it might have been what
Oh,
they had
yeah.
in the original mural.
Could be. So the impure make... Where's... There we go. That was it. Da-da-da-da. Thanks, kid. I wonder who this kid is. They keep helping us. So now we're in the Bard's area near the theater, it looks like. Where's the kid? Oh, it's a... You're an idiot. Okay. So?
You say anything else?
Nope.
I think I hear the sound of there being an object you can pick up.
Okay.
Can you... What's the thing that highlights or shows the things you can interact with?
Aha! Something in the fountain. Don't ask why the water's yellow, we don't know. Oh.
Sad coin.
Okay.
That's just gonna send the elevator up, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So what was at the top? Was it just impassable? It looked like rubble-ish?
Yeah.
Nothing to interact with there.
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay, then.
Okay, well maybe if we give the guy the coin, he'll change his mind about us. Who knows?
Maybe he would let us up the elevator.
That seemed emphatic. I don't like you. You're a monster. You're a monster. Whoa, that seems wild. It's the kid. I'm free. Okay.
Okay, so now the kid will let us up.
I guess. Why does he think I'm a monster? Go up. Thanks, kiddo.
Well, because we did something to destroy the theater and, you know, everything is broken.
I guess we have destroyed beauty. Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
Do we now have a play about death?
Okay, so...
Instrument.
Fire. Compass.
Yes.
Sword. It's an alchemist.
Okay, so that was just repeating the...
That's the same direction we got before.
So I guess we're meant to go to the... wherever it was that we ascend?
I guess. This graveyard is really something. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that's the...
Okay. So this is the old script, but now it says that he found the scientist. Oh, look at these Escher
Oh.
steps.
Those... I don't think those were there that
No,
way.
no, they were not, nor were these bones that clearly come from the labyrinth above.
Although it looks like they're the bones of the laborer who was sweeping up.
Yeah. Something very drastic happened between when we pushed that button and now. Oh, it's the end of the play.
So I guess it's alchemist. Do we have a word for alchemist, or would it be brother, or...
Yeah, I don't think we have a word for alchemist. I mean, we could say person. Do we want to say brother? Let's go with brother. And then it's
Fool.
fool, which is... well, clearly I don't remember.
Did not write that one down. Okay, it's it's sort of like a 7 with an underline.
Oh, there we
yes.
are. And then bard. And then found.
I have
Found. Ah, we were correct. We're just glitching our way through the levels.
and now we're down at the...
Back in the Abbey. Okay.
So was this whole tower a simulation of the anchorites?
It does kind of feel that way. And look, our path's bricked off and the door's shut. Wait, what's that? That used to be the game. What is it now? Well,
They
it's
all
still the
say
game.
exile, but everything is exile.
Seems like our demiurge had some plans for us. Oh boy. That is one of the reliefs below.
Okay, so what's happened to the reliefs?
Boy, oh boy. Warriors close the door. That's the same as it was.
Same as it ever was.
Devotees seeking God.
Go up.
Go up. These don't look like they've changed.
Although it might have been seek up.
Men become devotees. Only men, apparently. Oh, this one's been removed.
Oh,
This was the one with plants dying and people dying.
Yeah.
And we still have more down accessible to us. The water
this
is
is where we came
gone.
in. Well, because the kid pulled the floodgate at the very bottom.
Oh,
That's
that's
that
an
looks like
alchemist symbol.
Yeah. Is that plural or not? I
It
forget.
looks like plural.
Yeah.
I guess this is what happens when you kill God. Can't expect the world to just go on going on. Oh, here it is. Hello. A new relief.
So alchemists making potion.
Aha! I bet that's what we need to put in.
Well, I don't think we have an alchemist glyph. Although I wonder if maybe we're supposed to enter it in alchemist.
Oh, we'll see. Wasn't paying attention to that. Guess I should have been. I guess when everybody talks to each other, the demiurge doesn't need to do things for them. They don't have to worship God if other people are in community. Funny how that works.
Okay, so these are in alchemist glyphs.
Okay, so...
Alchemist.
Alchemist... Oh, what does alchemist look like? There it is. Alchemist, plural, make
is...
and then
yep.
formula?
Formula is the thing that looks... second on the left. Yeah.
Ah! Ooh, there he is! Uh-oh! The monster is back.
And it's not afraid of the light.
That's worrying.
Are you in control?
I am in control. But... Okay. What? Looks like we're labyrinthing our way around now. Oh my! It's the kid! Let's go, kid! Those sure are some skulls. Oh boy! I don't know what's happening.
Oh, this is where you ascended to the warriors area.
It is, but it isn't. Everything says exile. Oh! Boat.
Do you want to maybe... Oh.
Want to what?
I would say take the boat, but I guess that wasn't an option.
It was not. But it looks like we dumped it off a bridge, and now we are in the mouth of the demiurge. Because all of this has been a simulation somehow, and we mucked it up. Sounds like metal, looks like light. Oh, hey, that looks like us. We have refused exile. Oh, it's one of those bots. Oh. Hey, the anchorites are out and about. Oh, you stopped exile. You revived my people. So all of it was a simulation, but all of it was real? You helped us. Exile is dead. Exile appears to be the name of the demiurge. Is there anything here? Oh, it's what I did before. Okay.
Do you know where... So where you... Did you start off in the room where you met the leader? Like where you were in the simulation?
I don't think so, because that's down here.
Okay, I feel like that may be a relevant place to...
Yeah, maybe.
Go.
Oh, looks like not. We mostly have the replays.
Can you interact with the tower thing?
It's just showing us where the exile doors are. So, sorry, we're not doing as much commentary this time because we don't know as much about what's happening.
Yeah, and we had a long action sequence.
So I think we might want to go back to the top of the tower.
Okay.
Anybody? Anybody? Nope. Well, we
Exile.
definitely turned that off, whatever that is.
That's encouraging.
Up we go. No stealthing. No robots barring our path. The sky is daylit, which it wasn't before up here.
Ooh,
Huh.
now everyone's here,
Everyone is here. And
including the child, looks like.
yes. So we've got the child and a devotee. And then we have... I wish I could zoom in. Well, looks like we'll get a little bit of zoom. And then we have two alchemists talking on the right side, an anchorite hovering, two bards, and two warriors. The anchorite and the child are the only people facing us. They're all focused around this top button, which is where we killed Exile. So who knows what this is?
Can we interact with anyone?
Let's see. Nope, nobody wants to interact. They did want me to turn this on. And here we go. Create all of the connections. A game about building community by going across barriers
There you go.
imposed.
Odd, duty, beauty, transform, exile.
All of the things that everybody worshipped. And now look, they've all changed places to talk with each other. Oh, beautiful. We've created our own meaning and shared it with each other. Broken down the barriers of the tower. And that is apparently game end. Oh, what a beautiful game this is. I'm very interested to see how much we get to see of the tower.
I also wonder what sort of credits they have for the language stuff.
Right. Nauru and
cutting the
Nuria,
cat.
the cats. Good kitties. So I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but one of my friends over at the Save Ancient Studies Alliance, who is Italian, is planning to replay this game in Italian and see what assumptions the Italian translations make, since I was so fascinated by the gendering of person as man in so many of the decisions.
Yeah, it hadn't occurred to me that this was
It looks like it was made by
in
people,
France, possibly.
people in France, yeah, and people with French names at very least.
But was also seeing some Spanish and Italian names, so France seems...
Yeah. I mean, the Francosphere is
Yeah.
pretty wide. So
Could also be
uh,
something like Quebec, but
English, Spanish, 2 Spanish, German, Italian, Brazilian, Portuguese, Polish, Russian, Czech, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. So I didn't really see any distinct language building credits. That's really interesting. Since they did such a good job of really letting us dig into how the glyphs came together and the idea of different types of radicals and different language, different syntax and all that sort of stuff. And, even different cultures having different emphases, and particularly the one glyph of unity, God, duty, the connections that we rebuilt. I wonder in this scenario where exile came from, Like it's clear that it was man-made, right? Like it's a human system. It's a piece of technology. But fascinating. Well, thank you so much for coming along. Tortoise, do you have any more thoughts about the puzzle design here you want to share?
so I mean, we've already talked about some of the different ways that they present the language learning to you, often through like early on it was very basic signs like open door and closed door, and then we have some interactions, and the language learning through interactions is something that you don't often get to see in puzzles per se, because puzzles tend to be more static. But it's certainly something that you could exploit in a puzzle game. But at the same time, having 30 or 40 words per language was a little... I understand why we only got to see that much of the language, but...
Right. So, presumably in a logographic language, you would have a much wider set of characters, or at least a much wider set of radicals. And we did get to see, in the last play session when we were learning the Anchorite language, we did get to see how some of the glyphs were constructed from simpler radicals, which we had noted in other ones.
Interestingly, if you take assume that everything follows that 16 segment display type of thing, that puts an upper limit of about 65,000 words on their language, which, sounds like a lot, but for a
living language is incredibly small.
Especially one with a lot of technical, like English has, depending on how you count, somewhere in the hundreds of thousands of words, and a lot of them are technical and scientific.
Right. So, for instance, the alchemist language, where they're building and crafting and creating different formulae and doing a lot of math, you'd expect a lot more technical words, and especially the Anchorites, who appear to have this high-tech hover chairs and AI systems and video games, and basically it's pretty unusual for there not to be more.
And it could be that, you have 65,000 glyphs, but you also have compounds.
Right.
Which we didn't really get to.
Right.
With only 40 words, that's not something that comes up.
Right. So,
whereas in, Heaven's Vault, everything is a compound.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. So, in a system like this, You don't get a lot of markers the way that you do in Heaven's Vault. You don't get a lot of compound words. In Heaven's Vault, almost every word is a compound of different glyphs. And it is, once again, a glyphic language there. We did do a playthrough of Heaven's Vault. You can see it on my channel, or you can check it out for yourself, or you can check it out on Sasa, where they also have done a playthrough.
We recently completed a second New Game Plus playthrough off stream.
And continue to learn more words. Because the way that that language is built, you can infinitely string glyphs together to create new meaning. It's I'd call it agglutinative, the way that German is, except that it's still logographic. It's not actually sounds that you're stringing together. So like in German, if you need something that combines the concept of, work and art, you can just stick those things together and get Kraftwerk, right? Like it's not about the you can just stick things on forever to make a more complex concept. In English, what you tend to do is you tend to get neologisms, people being like, oh, well, it's an electronic piece of mail, and then over time that shortens to email, and now email is a common word that's part of our lexicon, but I remember a time when it didn't exist, right? Mm-hmm. So
or you string together roots and prefixes, often from Greek and Latin, but not exclusively.
Or borrow words from other languages. Like last week or the week before, we were talking about helicopter, right? That is a new word for a new concept, something with wings that spiral. So they took the Greek root helikos, spiral, and the Greek root ter, wing, and they just jammed them together. And that's not a word that pre-existed. That's just two Greek words smashed together to make something. And then when, as was pointed out by one of our watchers, when we use that in English, we don't think about the Greek roots. We think about it as a word, right? Like that's not made of pieces in our minds. That's just helicopter. And so when you say something about a helicopter, like a helipad, right? It's not at the same word break. It's at an English word break.
Mm-hmm. You see something similar in one of your in Dune, which I know you.
Not my favorite.
They have a flying vehicle called an ornithopter, which flaps its wings like a bird, and it's often referred to as a thopter. Which, again, is splitting the word in a way that doesn't make sense from the original formation.
It's almost exactly the same. It's ornithos, bird, and pter. Ornis, but, whatever. But then we also, in English, will like, oh, you call this an obi? We'll call it an obi. That's fine. We don't need to make up our own word for that. We just take it. And that's true for for words that are a lot more common, like, karaoke, which is a hilarious borrowing from Japanese from English. So, there's a lot of things that you could do that they have not done in this game, because they don't need to. They really only need to show us
what's needed to tell the story.
Right. So we do get a couple of hints here and there that there are symbols that we did not see. That there is more complexity to these languages than we interacted with. And that'll be true of a very basic interaction with almost any language. If you learn just conversational Russian, for example, you're probably not going to learn about all of the edge cases that you might run into. You're probably not going to learn all of the vocabulary you would need to build a computer or something complex like that. You're not going to get all those technical words. So this is a very interesting use of language in game and language as game. And
One of the other things
something
is
I'd like
that,
to see again.
as far as we know, at least as it's presented to us, the written glyphs and the spoken language are, I don't want to say identical, but we already know how they map onto each other.
Right. Which, again, if we return to Heaven's Vault, is something that you see done very differently. There, where you're learning to read and not really learning to speak, when you do encounter spoken ancient in Heaven's Vault, you don't know what it means because you don't know what those sounds map onto in terms of the glyphs. You can pick up a little bit of the vocabulary over time. You can, find out that Mikis means master or user.
And then cat kiss is like citadel or high place.
Right, so you can get an idea that kiss means, some kind of hierarchy, like is referring to somebody above you in the hierarchy somehow. But, like, when you look at the word that means star, you have no idea how that's pronounced because it doesn't correspond, like in a glyphic language, it doesn't correspond to how it sounds. And this is one of those interesting things where it comes to Chinese that I would someday like to learn about, because Chinese apparently does have some sort of radicals that refer to sound included in their characters. This does not translate for Japanese, which also uses Chinese characters, because obviously they use a whole different set of sounds. They say the words differently. So there are all sorts of things that could be played with that I am not at all surprised that they did not choose to go into in a game like this. But it opens up so many exciting possibilities. Once you have a game like this, you can start exploring more linguistic concepts in future puzzle games.
And it's also interesting that, like, finding out in the end game that we had been in a simulation sort of retcons some of those irregularities that we were like, okay, we can magically speak and, understand spoken and written of this language which we have presumably never encountered before.
Yeah, perhaps not. It's really unclear how much of it was a simulation. Certainly reappearing at the bottom of the tower after reaching the top, that certainly wasn't in the simulation. But when we sort of had the end, was that us being put into the simulation, or had we been in a simulation the whole time? It's really unclear.
Like, I feel like maybe we had been, within the game, we had been playing a game which is very much like Chants of Sennaar, but within the universe, and we reached the end, but then, suddenly we wake up at the bottom and things are broken.
I don't know. It's a very interesting concept all around. I do think that we are going to call it there. So thank you very much for watching along. And I am sad to break the news that this is going to be the start of hiatus. I'm not entirely sure how long for, but please do come and send me notes or comments about what you'd like to see me play in the future. Happy to take suggestions. You can follow me on Blue Sky or on Mastodon. That's the word. Blue Sky or Mastodon. You can come and subscribe to my YouTube channel, or if you are feeling generous, join my Patreon, and you will get news of how things are going with me on my other projects and updates on my videos that aren't directly this. I'll tell you a secret. I'm also going to be presenting about Heaven's Vault at a conference in March, so yeah, please do follow along. I'm very happy to have played this game with you, and thank you, Tortoise, for joining me for this one.
It's been a pleasure.
We will see you next time. Keep learning, friends.